Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We got a whole bunch of callers on hold. And first, I want to introduce you to a new friend. His name's Kevin Moore. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Julie. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, keeping well. Thank you very much for letting us come on your show. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you are most welcome. I got to be on Kevin's show last week, you guys, and we had a ball, didn't we, Kevin? We covered a lot of interesting topics. You asked some questions that were questions that I don't know that I've been asked before, which were fun. I always like to freewheel it. People who do these shows, sometimes they'll say, I'll send you the questions ahead of time. I'll say, I don't want the questions. I'd rather just do it off the cuff. And so it makes it more fun.
Absolutely, it does. I think sometimes, though, it is a bit, you always want to try to do a good show, don't you? And when you're doing it off the cuff, there's always those nerves there, isn't there? It's like, are you going to be able to direct this in conversation into something that's going to be, something that's going to last for a long time? Do you know what I mean? That's going to be good for people. But we managed to do that. So, thank you for being part of that.
That's a good point. Withstand the test of time, on an interview. But I think when we're talking about woo-woo, it's eternal. So that's a little bit easier to control maybe than current day politics or something like that along those lines. Well, obviously, you're not from the U.S., so tell everybody where you're from and a little bit about you and a little bit about your show.
Oh no, you're opening up a big can of worms there for me, right?
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm from the UK, as you say, Julie. I studied broadcasting back when I went to uni, and a long journey that took me to come to the US in the end. Been to the US many times, but I actually got married. That's how I came over here, working on I was working on a couple of documentaries. One was a channeling documentary, and one was a true crime documentary.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, like the two worlds can meet. And and from there I sort of stayed in the US, and I've been here ever since. So
well, has your accent diminished some when you go home? Do people tell you sound like you're a Yank? Or is it still strong enough that you sound like you're a Brit?
Over the phone, because I've not been back yet, because I can't go back right now, but over the phone, people do say, you're saying a few words there that sound a bit American. I'm like, oh my God, am I? I've lost my British accent. But I don't mind, you know what I mean? I love America, and but I will get to go back one day, but just going through that dreaded process right now of trying to get a green card, so
gosh.
Some of us have to go through that sometimes. So it's all good fun, but it's nothing that life chucks at you that you can't handle, right? Even at the darkest times, sometimes when you're going through the roughest things, it's amazing what you can motor through, and when you know that there's help there for you. Sometimes you just got to ask for it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And I think everything unfolds perfectly, even when we're in the middle of it and we think, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Or this is awful or whatever. And what we realize after we've gone through it and we get to the other side oftentimes is that it always happens for a reason, and it's always in our best interest, even though it doesn't feel like it a lot of the time. But we can look back on it and say, okay, well, I'm really glad that happened because this wouldn't have happened. And all of that. Well, tell everybody about your show. You've had some interesting people on your show over the years.
Yeah, I've always stuck in the metaphysical, paranormal, spiritual stuff, and I want to break out of there eventually and go much more mainstream, but I can't do that, obviously, where I'm based. I'm looking at moving to Vegas in the future and sort of having the more mainstream interviews there, right? But keeping the spiritual stuff in the background. And yeah, I guess I've interviewed a lot of people in the spiritual field. Maybe it must be over 1,000, but it doesn't feel like it. You know what I mean? But maybe that's not a lot of people. I don't know. When Larry King passed away this week, he had interviewed over 50,000. I was like, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, but he was about 120. He was like about 120 or something, so he was a lot older than you.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. There was. So yeah, I interview people like yourself, like the spiritual, metaphysical. But I think, one thing I just want to say is that I think that the life path that we go through sometimes, and the challenges that we go through, I think they've definitely had an effect on the way that I interview right now. And I think I don't know if you've noticed that as an interviewer, that some of the things that you go through sometimes do sort of shape the sort of interviewer that you become a little bit.
Well, I think right now, with everything that's been happening around the world, people, they're looking for comfort. I think that they're looking for less fluff, things that are more meaningful, things that they can implement easily and for free, a lot of people, especially if they're out of work. And they're looking for some answers to a time that's been really seemingly out of control in a lot of ways. And you did a great job, and we covered a lot of that. We covered a lot of different tidbits, golden nuggets, if you will, on our chat, which, by the way, everybody is on all my social media at Ask Julie Ryan. The links are up, so it'll be easy for you to find Kevin's show. And I think you did a great job, Kevin, of asking questions in a way that would elicit those kinds of responses with applicable information that anybody can use. And you can use it right now, and it's free.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I suppose after doing it for a while, you just get to that point of just trying to make it a conversation. And but I think, out of all the things I've done in life, I think my purpose probably is interviewing. Every time I try to go off that track and do something else, it all just craps on me, and it just falls out from under my feet. You know that. So if anyone's listening to this, that can feel that same way, that when they try to go off their life path, it just doesn't work out. Maybe that's because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I can attest to that, even just recently.
And I always say, if whatever's happening at the moment and what your thoughts are, if they feel good or at least neutral, you're in alignment with your spirit. And when it feels badly, that's our internal GPS going beep, 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 you're off course, turn around at the next available U-turn, look at it from a different perspective, and then get back in alignment. And that's when you can get information from spirit, because spirit they don't broadcast on the I feel crappy channel. It's a different frequency that they're talking on. You won't find them on the I feel bad channel.
No, and I think sometimes, though, you have to go through what you're going through. I think sometimes there's life lessons that you have to go through, and it may feel like a feel bad channel, but you just got to go through it. And you can do as much drugs or whatever you want to sort of numb yourself of it. But I tell you what, it doesn't work. You have to see it through sometimes, no matter what it is you're going through. And I think these are the times that, if people want to look up to people, they want people to be authentic. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's one thing with the guests I try to get on, is I try to push them to the point where, is this real, or, is it real to you? How authentic is it to you, that what you've been through? Do you know what I mean? Let's explore that. No, these are not easy times for anybody. I don't think any of us are sort of immune to it, if that makes sense. But maybe, shows like yourselves, like that you're doing right now, helps people to at least find some answers to make sense of some of the situations they're going through, which is great.
Well, and that's how we create, is we need that contrast, because when we know what we don't want, then that helps us create what we do want, is what I find. And so it's nasty going through it, perhaps, but at the same time, when you're on the other end of it, you can look back and say, okay, well, I guess that was good that happened, because it led to this, and it led me to that, and led me to do those things. So it sounds like that's happened with you, with Coming to America, like the movie, the old Eddie Murphy movie. Did you ever see that? That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I wish my daddy was that rich, right? Maybe the money problems would have got me out of some of the situations, but no, I don't wish that I hadn't gone through anything. No, I mean, I'm going through a divorce right now. It's been a very painful relationship, and it's just been an extremely painful time. On top of not just the loss of a marriage, losses financially and everything else. And this isn't the all look at poor me situation. This is just life and what we have to go through. And sometimes to be not honest about it, or to say, well, life's fantastic right now. It's like, well, it's definitely a test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's definitely a stage in a process. And sometimes you just got to go through it. And
right.
But like you say, on the other side of it, there normally is the light at the end of the tunnel, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
Kevin, we're going to need to go to break real quickly. Tell everybody how they can find you. What's your website?
Yeah, just go to the www.thekevinmooreshow.com, and you'll be able to find links to my YouTube channel and my website. So thank you very much.
You bet, and they'll be in my show notes too. Thanks, Kevin. Everybody stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go back to the phones. And our next caller, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Can you hear me? All right, Randall, I'm ready for some help.
Try Lori. Lori, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Now you can. Okay. Well, good. Hi, Lori.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. We had a little technical thing going on there for a minute. So, where are you calling from?
And here we are now.
And here we are. Yes. Where are you? Where are you located?
I'm calling from San Diego. My brother is in Palm Springs.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Yes. Tell us about your brother. You had mentioned something before we started the show.
He had a stroke. Yeah, so he's 64, and he has a history of atrial fibrillation, and the doctor thought that it was he was low risk for stroke, and so he took him off of the blood thinner, and it turned out that he was not at low risk for stroke, and he had one. And so he's awake, but he's got severe right-sided either weakness or paralysis. I'm not sure which. But he's awake, he interacts, but he can't talk. He can only vocalize. And he's on blood thinners now to prevent a recurrence, but the MRI showed a couple of small spots, and so the blood thinner, it's kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it prevents a recurrence. On the other hand, it could pose a problem with the whatever the two spots are that they show in the MRI, and whether they'll absorb or something else will happen. So I'm just asking for whatever angelic or guide or whatever intervention is possible to foster his healing, and if we can get a twofer to help my mom with her anxiety, because it's so hard for her because she cannot go be with him.
No. Tell me your brother's name, Sandra.
I'm Lori, and my
Lori,
brother's
I'm
name
sorry.
is Jack Herzberg. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
His name is Jack Herzberg.
I was trying to
Herzberg,
get Sandra. So it's Jack. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, let me get Jack on my radar. What I'm going to do, Lori, is I'm going to connect to you in San Diego, and then from you, I'm going to connect to Jack. And how it works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly simply because the body has mass. So I'm going to close my eyes, watch a laser beam come from my body. It's going to hook into you and then your brother. And then I'm going to ask permission if I can scan him. And if he says, yes, I will. And if he says, no, I won't. But we can still talk to a spirit. So all is not lost there. So here we go.
May I put you on speaker so that my mother can hear, or will that interfere with things?
Sure. No. Okay, What's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Speaker. Mom, you're Julie Ryan.
Hi, Mom. What's Mom's name?
Lillian.
Lillian. Hi, Miss Lillian.
Hi.
I'm so sorry about Jack. So sorry about Jack.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, here we go. All right, got him. Got you. And then you went to him fast. It's not that far from San Diego to Palm Springs. So I've got you. Okay. All right, Jack. I'm talking to Lori and your mom. Is it okay if I scan you energetically? He said yes, so that's great. Okay. So I have a hologram of him in my mind's eye, Lori, and I'm shooting energy from his feet up through the top of his head. It's going right to his head. Okay, I can see a couple of bleeds. What I'm watching happen is I'm watching an energetic interventional radiology procedure happen where they in interventional radiology labs around the world, what they'll do is they'll release these tiny hair thin coils into the bleeds and it coagulates them. And so that's what I'm watching happen. Normally they'll go up through the femoral artery in the groin and do that. Mm-hmm. Did they talk to him about doing that when he came in?
I don't know. He is married, and so his spouse is the person that they communicate with.
Right. And is she in touch with you guys?
Yes, he is, but I don't know the answer to that particular question.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'm watching happen right now. My guess is if they'd done it already, we wouldn't be watching it energetically, but this will help coagulate the bleeds. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the neural pathways that have been affected. And scar tissue, when it forms, it kind of looks like chicken cartilage in a chicken breast with the bone in, where that kind of rubbery white, cartilage. So I'm removing that from the parts of his brain that have been affected where the scar tissue is. And then I'm adding stem cell energy into his brain to regenerate some of those neural pathways that have been affected. Oh. And they, stem cell energy, Lori and Lillian, looks like a light amber colored gel with sparkles in it because it's woo-woo, you got to have sparkles. Yeah. And it has a watery consistency to it. Do you remember Dippity Doo back in the 60s and 70s, that hair gel? Is that hilarious?
Yeah, I do.
It reminds me of Dippity Doo, but it's the coolest stuff because it'll regenerate whatever body part we need. And that's what I'm watching right now. I'm watching it regenerate some neural pathways. There's a vortex that's spinning above it. The reason why I'm so descriptive is because it helps integrate the healing into the body. And you guys are helping me on the healing with him. So if you can picture what I'm picturing, it's going to help integrate the healing into his head. So doing that. All right. So it's regenerated because the neural pathways light up and they remind me of laser beams that you'd see in a movie, perhaps as part of a security system, with the laser beams that's guarding the paintings and stuff. So hopefully that will help him heal. So good luck to him. Thanks so much for calling in. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go back to the phones and our next caller, Sandra. Sandra, do we have you now?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. That's me. Technical errors. Thank God I got Randall. He's my Professor Oz, behind the wizard behind the curtain.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I messed up.
It was MIA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't find you when I tried to call on you earlier, so I'm glad you're there. How are you, girl?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm really, really fine. This is the second time that I've called you. The first time was just so terrific, and I've been thinking about it, and I want to do a follow-up phone call on something else. And the first phone call was all about my plantar's warts.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you called in. How are they?
Well, I went to the doctor about 5 days after your phone call, and he thought I was showing him the wrong foot.
Oh,
he said,
fabulous.
Okay, where's the warts? And he kept looking at his chart, and he looked at me, and he says, okay, this is the wrong foot. And I said, no, this is the right foot. And he said, they're gone. They're gone.
Fabulous.
And he patted himself on the back, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed.
Oh, how wonderful. Well, so hopefully it's not as painful for you to walk. Hopefully you're not in pain anymore.
No, it isn't. I have something else going on with my foot, but that's another phone call.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling back in and letting us know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm calling today about my sister-in-law. She passed away 13 months ago. And this Saturday, we're finally having a burial for her. It was all unexpected. And she took her own life. And this Saturday is going to be a special day for her. And I'm just having kind of some weird feelings about her, and I don't know why.
Like what?
Like she hasn't gone on, like she's still here, type of thing. I feel her a lot, and other family members have too, on certain circumstances. But we were very close, and I just want to know, is she okay? And does she know that we actually truly loved her?
What's her name, Sandra?
Patty.
All right. Where are you calling us from? Please let all of us know where you're located.
I am in mid-Michigan, Swartz Creek, Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. To an Ohio State girl, that's that state up north. They don't call Michigan by the name, the Ohio State football crazies, like I'm one of them. And they just called that state up north.
Alabama won. I'm just so happy Alabama won.
I bet. Yeah, I was good either way. When Ohio State and Alabama played, people kept saying, who are you going to cheer for? I said both. But, Ohio State had a little bit of an edge. Yeah. Yeah, it was good because my son and my husband are Alabama guys, and I'm a fourth generation Buckeye. Actually, I was third generation, but my nephews have graduated from there. So 4 generations of my family have gone to the Ohio State University. Anyways, let's get Patty on the line. So I'm connected to you. Patty's standing to your right. That's where they always stand when they come in. Our heads are big satellite dishes, Sandra, and they receive and they transmit frequencies. And all you have to do to communicate with Patty is just think of her, and she immediately will come in. So, and if you're doing something random, like driving down the road or folding laundry or whatever, and you think of her all of a sudden out of the blue, that's going to be her letting you know she's there with you. Okay?
That's so weird because things have happened just randomly. I mean, crazy things like I wouldn't even think about, like songs and that type of thing that we used to just wallow over and sing together. And I mean, now I hear it on the radio all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So those serendipitous things that happen are her just letting you know she's there. And she's close by. Did you have a question for her, Sandra? She has absolutely passed. You're feeling her spirit around you. And remember, we all decide when we go, where we go, how we go, and who's with us when we go. So even in the case of a sudden death, like a suicide or a homicide, our spirit all decides that's how we're going to go. And keep in mind that we all go through the 12 phases of transition. So we're surrounded by angels and deceased loved ones and the spirits of deceased pets. So it's really a glorious part of the equation. Hopefully that will give you. Have you read Angelic Attendants yet? My book yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that
will
helpful to me.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll give you some comfort and your family some comfort. But did you have a quick question for her?
Yeah, I just wanted her to know, did she feel like she was loved? I mean, did she feel like
She's saying yes.
Booted her out? She's saying yes.
She's saying yes. She knows it. She knows she was loved. She knows she was loved.
And she told us, what she might have done wrong and what we need to do with our family. And I just hope that she knew that we loved her unconditional.
Yeah, she does. And she did, and she does now. She was just ready to go. She was in a lot of pain, and she chose to go on back to non-physical. So talk to her. And she's going to answer you. It's going to sound like a thought in your head. It's going to come in within a second, as fast as you can snap your fingers. So good luck with the service this weekend. And thanks so much for calling. Sending big hugs. Hang in there.
Thank you.
You
All
bet.
right.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to Stacy. Stacy, I tried you earlier too. Stacy, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I was on hold.
Hi. I'm sorry. Again, operator error. No surprise there. It was me trying to operate it. Ha! But you know what? I'm trainable. I'm like an old dog with new tricks. I'm impressed with all this stuff that I've learned. I got more chords going on in this recording studio. I just can't even tell you. So far, so good. Thank you for your patience. Where are you calling in from?
From Denver, Colorado.
Oh, terrific. Do you have snow?
We do have snow.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Good.
I am calling about my dog.
Yeah. What's its name?
Her name is Mango.
Oh, cute. And what kind is she? What kind of dog is she? She seems to not be
feeling well. She's having trouble eating. Eating hasn't ever been an issue for her, and it seems painful.
Oh, what kind of dog is she, Stacy?
She's a St. Bernard mix.
Oh my, big dog.
She is a big dog.
Yeah, big dog with lots of hair is what I picture. Okay, so Mango, I love that name. All right, Mango. I'm connecting to you, Stacy, and from you to Mango. All right, got her. How old is Mango?
She's 12.
Okay, her spirit's out of her body. So what I was just talking with Sandra about with her sister Patty, have you seen the 12 Phases of Transition chart on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, or read in like attendance yet?
I have read the book.
Okay, all right. You know how in humans the spirit bubble hooks onto the top of the head when somebody's dying? And that's what's going on with Mango. Mango is... Right now, she's dying. So let's talk to her. Mango, are you ready to go? She's saying yes. Are you in pain sometimes? Do you need anything from Stacy? She said her bed. What does that mean? Does she have a special bed that she sleeps in?
She has a bed next to my bed, but she doesn't typically lay in it.
Okay. All right. So she wants her bed for some reason. Does she act like she's in pain when she walks around?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's ask her, do you want to be euthanized? She says not yet. How will Stacy know when it's time, when she can't control her bowels, is what she said.
Okay.
Okay.
Like urine and bowel movement?
She's saying bowels more.
Okay.
She says you'll know. Is she not able to control them now?
Once in a while, we'll find a little piece of poop on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then she'll wake us up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I think it's going to be more intense than that when it's time.
Okay.
So,
okay, because I did make an appointment at the vet for tomorrow thinking it was her teeth, because once in a while we'll see blood on the carpet. It's coming from her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Her spirit's out of her body. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but her spirit's out of her body right now. Yeah.
We knew it was coming, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions that you have for her that you want me to ask?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Just love on her. Be sure her bed's close by. And thanks for calling in, Stacy. Stay with us, everybody. You bet. We'll be right back, and we'll get some more callers on and see what their questions are. Welcome back, everybody. Our next caller is Miss Daisy. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Daisy.
Hi, this is Daisy from Ocala, Florida.
Hi, Daisy. How are you, girl?
I am calling because 2 days ago I went to the ENT.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $171 for special transportation and a stretcher because I'm not able to sit for 2 hours.
Oh.
Because I needed help badly with the something that I thought was sinus.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get there, he gave me an attitude because I was in a stretcher, and he said that the CAT scan showed normal, but I don't feel normal. When I was doing the meal Medipad one night, I saw somewhere that you could use double the dose. Instead of one envelope, I used 2 before I went to bed. And when I woke up, I was in a lot of pain, and this snoring that was coming through my throat before is now coming through my face, and it's very painful.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't find anything, so I don't know what's going on. I'm afraid to fall asleep. I'm afraid to relax, because as soon as I relax, I start getting this noise from my face, and it goes down the right ear.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm afraid that it's going to hurt my right ear. That was the good one.
Yeah. I think what happened is when you use double of the packets, that's double the saline, and you know how salt can burn? I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
You burned all those little delicate membranes in your nasal passages, and that wouldn't show up on a CT scan. So I went ahead and got you on my radar while you were talking, Daisy. And what I'm doing is I'm putting anti-inflammatory energy in your whole sinuses and in your nasal passages. And, you know, inflammation, you've probably heard me say inflammation looks like red fog over body parts. Your nasal passages and your sinuses are just really inflamed. So I've put anti-inflammatory energy on it, which is a royal blue color, to get it calmed down. And now what I'm doing is I'm applying this cream that looks like really thick white face cream that you'd put on before you go to bed at night, you know, like moisturizer cream on your face. And I'm coating that, and that has anti-inflammatory properties in it, and it has properties to heal tender tissues. You burned your nasal tissue is what happened with the 2 packets.
Oh. How
That's
come
what
it
happened.
feels like it's coming out of my ear? Is my ear being damaged also? Because that's my biggest
Well, it's
fear
not
also.
damaged. It's just inflamed. So it's just all connected. You know, the sinuses are all connected to the eustachian tubes in the ear and everything, but it's burned. You got like a chemical burn from it is what's happened.
Okay.
So, just put lots of water in that neti pod and just 1 packet, and that will help. You'll heal fast.
I'm not doing the neti pod anymore. After that night, I'm just way too scared. I'm way too afraid of it's something's wrong. I mean, I'm not supposed to be snoring through my face. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine in a couple of days. I think the neti pot's fine. Just only use 1 packet of the saline and put a bunch of water in there. You know, if I'm using one of those sinus rinse things, I use bottled water, the kind that's purified, like Dasani or Aquafina or Nestle. And that seems to work well.
I was boiling water every time I used it.
Yeah, that'll work. I like the purified water, Nettie, because tap water, even if you boil it, it's still got chemicals in it, like chlorine and stuff like that.
That's true.
And you add that to the salt, the saline from those packets, and you just had some chemicals that burned the inside of your nose, girl. I'm so sorry.
That's why I can't breathe. I have to take a deep breath through my mouth because it just hurts all the time, especially when I breathe or when I try to relax or fall asleep because it starts snoring. And that snoring wakes me up. And
you'll be better. Hang in there.
All right.
Thanks for calling. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's go to Miss Amy next. Hi, Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hey, you know what? I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Please tell everybody where you are.
I'm in San Diego. I'm in Balboa Park, and I was just getting my feet off the pine needles. Oh, I love putting my feet in pine needles. So
that sounds painful to me.
Oh, these are really soft. They're older, so it feels really good. Yeah. Kevin Moore, I love his shows. I've listened to his shows for years. They are spectacular.
Oh,
and
good.
His voice is so healing. I love Kevin's shows. He's just awesome.
Oh.
Everyone, just listen. There's so many good shows on his channel. Oh, yeah.
He heard me on Coast to Coast right before Christmas, the Coast to Coast radio show. And he sent me an email and he said, I just listened to you on Coast to Coast. Can you come on my show? And I said, yeah. And so that's how it all worked out, which was so nice for him to do that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, you got a question for me?
I want to zone in on how do I do Amy's life? What am I here to do and how do I do it? You know, darn it. I just, this has been a lifetime thing. I got to finish this.
Well, I don't think you have to do anything. There's no shoulds. If you were a trust fund baby and you could do anything and money wasn't an issue and you could just do it for fun, what would it be?
Like radio shows talking about health and wellness and metaphysics and, you know, just, I love to inform people and educate, and I love metaphysics. Even your angel training inspires me. You know, just, I like it different. I like to show people different ways to look at things.
There's your answer. There's your answer. So you know what you want to do. You know, the old follow your bliss. If you follow your bliss and what you're interested in, you're going to be led. And then when we feel fear, like, oh, I could never do that, or I don't have enough money, or blah, 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 then you're just in an irrational fear pattern. So use the 2-minute rule. Is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? And you get a no. And then it lessens the fear a little bit, and then it lets you move on. So there's your answer, girl. You came up with it on your own.
Thank you. And
you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so just take it one step at a time, Amy. You know, if we think too far in advance, we get paralyzed because our brains don't have the capacity to envision all of the variables that are going to come in to affect an outcome. And so what you want to do is you want to look something up wherever you're led. You may be led to check something out online, like to a website. How do you do a podcast? And then you go from there and you take one step at a time and trust that the people that you need to show up are going to show up when you need them. And you're going to get the information that you need when you need it. It always works that way. So good luck. Keep us posted. We'll listen in. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You bet. Everybody stay with us. We're going to take a break and we'll be back and get more callers on. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to go back to the phones here in a second, but let's get some information on about our question from the week. First of all, just a reminder, we do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-775-7035, and the access code is 483-620#. This information is available on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and in the show notes. You can download the show anywhere you get your podcasts, and we're also on YouTube and Alexa. So please remember to subscribe and leave a review at ratethispodcast.com/Julie. ratethispodcast.com/Julie. And that helps others find us and find this information, which hopefully can help them and help their loved ones and their family members. Also, all these call-in details can be found on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest at Ask Julie Ryan. And we post a reminder on the day of the show with the call-in information. So if you're wondering if we're going to do a live show, which we do pretty much every week, except maybe 3 or 4 a year, it's usually on a holiday when I'll pre-record something. So just go to Ask Julie Ryan on one of the social media platforms and you'll see the call-in information. And while you're on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, please be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. It's a question somebody has submitted online along with my answer. And you can also schedule an appointment with me when you're there. And I'm scheduled out a couple of months, but go ahead and get on my calendar, because when you get your confirmation email, you'll see a little button at the bottom that says reschedule. If you just click on that periodically, it will show you what earlier appointments have become available. People often reschedule, and I find out about it at the end of the day when I'm checking emails. So just get on my calendar and then hit reschedule. And then you can sign up for my angelic attendant training, what Amy was just referring to. My April class filled up today. I limit it to 12 people. I'm in the third week of the January class, so the next class after that's going to be July. And if you're thinking about taking it, go ahead and sign up, because it fills up quickly. And it's life-changing, and it's a blast. So you learn how to be a buffet of psychicness like me. You can do all the stuff that I can do. I teach you. All right. Our question this week comes from Patty, and Patty lives in San Francisco, California. And she said, "Hi, Julie. I found you through Annette Figueiredo's Fertility and Spirituality Summit when you spoke about woo-woo for the womb." That was the title of my talk, you guys. Isn't that great? Woo-woo for the womb. I thought that was pretty creative. She went on to say, 2 weeks ago, I transferred a fresh embryo, in parentheses, my first IVF pregnancy, and I'm nervous about it because I have fibroids. I was having fibroid pain during IVF prep, and now I'm worried the fibroids will grow during the pregnancy and cause the baby and me pain and complications. Will we be okay? Will you scan me, please? Thank you so much, Patty. And here's my response. Hi, Patty. What exciting news. Congratulations. Thanks for your question and for listening to my interview with Annette. Regarding your fibroids and pregnancy, to assist you, I energetically connected to you and focused on your uterus. I saw in my mind's eye your tiny fetus and several fibroids. One is fairly large and is pedunculated. That means it has a stalk of tissue attached to it. Picture a mushroom with a head on top of a stem, or like a cake pop that you get at Starbucks. That's another way to picture it too. It's a stem of tissue, fibrous tissue with like a head of a mushroom on it. The other fibroids were submucosal and just under the lining of your uterine cavity. I energetically removed all of them. Next, I watched, again in my mind's eye, a healing that removes strands of fibrin from your uterus. Fibrin is described by the Merriam-Webster dictionary as, quote, a white, insoluble fibrous protein used in the clotting of blood, end quote. To me, it looks like strands of a spider web and reminds me of the fiber silkworms produce to make their cocoons. So I watched these fibers come out of the uterine cavity, out of the wall into the middle, and then they're removed. It's like, it reminds me not of a cocoon so much, but you know those holders that have string on them when you're flying a kite that you hold on to with the string? That it just winds into a holder like that, and then it's removed. It's pretty wild, but I watch this all the time with fibroid healings. I went on to say, in addition, I watched some of your DNA get resequenced. This healing corrected a mutation in a strand of your DNA that was producing excess fibrin, which in turn was causing your fibroids. Now remember, DNA is the recipe that tells our cells how to behave. And even if you have a predisposition when you come in, it doesn't mean when you're born, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Usually something environmental will trigger it. It's kind of like having a loaded gun. It doesn't kill anybody unless you pull the trigger. I went on to say, that means in my mind, that your pregnancy will go well and you and your baby will both be just fine. Lastly, I asked my dear friend, global women's health expert, Dr. Christiane Northrup, who's an OBGYN, for her opinion about your concerns. Her response was, quote, my experience is that I never, in all caps, I never saw anyone have a problem carrying a full-term pregnancy with a fibroid. But in rare cases, the fibroids can sometimes disintegrate during pregnancy, and that can be quite painful as the tissue begins to break down, end quote. And then I ended with hope the healings and information help to alleviate your fears. So, Ms. Patty, keep us posted on what's going on with your pregnancy, but I think you and the baby are going to be just fine. Thanks for your question. Okay, let's go back to the phones, and I believe our next caller is Adele. Hi, Adele.
Hello, Julie.
How are you, girl?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Please tell everybody where you're located.
Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Another Michigan girl.
Yes.
Michigan girls tonight for a Buckeye.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in. You got a question for me?
I do. I have a dog named Emily.
Oh.
And about almost 2 weeks ago, she started to not put any weight on her back leg.
Uh-oh.
And just walking on 3 legs. And she's eating really good, and everything else is good. But I took her to the vet today. It took me a while to get in, and I finally got in, and they said that their X-ray machine was broken today.
Oh, geez. Good timing.
And then I needed to come back.
Yeah.
The doctor asked me if she had any injury or an accident or did something to it, and we're not aware of anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They were going to give her some pain medication, and then they wanted to do a test to make sure that it would be good, the medicine would be okay on her liver, so they did some blood work. And the doctor said that the enzymes in her liver were elevated, and that could either be from old age or Cushing's disease.
Oh, boy.
Right. But I feel it's kind of like arthritis in her hip. So we're going to, go back. I did get a different kind of pain medicine tonight, for the next 2 weeks, but I'm just wondering if you could take a look to see if, it is arthritis that's causing her not to put, any weight on her back leg.
Well, what kind of dog is she, first of all?
She's a Scottish Terrier.
What is that? I've never heard of a Scottish Terrier. What's she look like?
It's adorable.
Okay, I'm going to have to look that up.
Huh. Do you know what it is?
No, I'm going to look it up. No, I never heard of it.
A Scotty?
Oh, a Scotty. Okay. Yeah, I know what a Scotty is. All right. You use Scottish Terrier. I'm like, what the heck is that? All right. Yeah, I know what a Scotty is. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So I went ahead and got her on my radar. She's not very big. Okay. That's why I was asking what kind of dog she is.
But I've got 2 dogs.
Okay. But she's
One is,
the Scotty.
She's on the couch, I believe.
Okay, but she's the Scotty, right?
Yes, there's a Scotty, and then there's another one who's a Dachshund mix.
No, I got the Scotty. I got Emily.
Okay, good. Good.
The energy always goes where it's supposed to go. She did something to her paw. I'm getting it's her paw, even before I got her on my radar. Did she go out in the snow and maybe get frostbite or something on that paw? How's her paw look?
We checked her paw. We didn't see anything wrong with her paw.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting it's her paw. It has something to do with her paw. Her paw. So I've put some energetic cream on it, like I was talking about earlier with an earlier caller, where that white, thick face cream, the kind you'd see in a Nivea jar. And it's got anti-inflammatory properties, and it has healing properties to heal tender tissues, Adele, and hopefully that will help. And then you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but I just watched a chiropractic adjustment on that foot. So there's something going on, and I know they have chiropractors for animals. So you may want to look into that. And when your vet told you it may be age, my daughter-in-law Mallory is a vet, and I love this. She always says, "Age is not a disease." I use that with humans too. Age is not a disease. So I think that's true, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It works good. So,
okay, well, thank you.
I think it's her paw. I think she might have been in the snow and gotten it frostbite or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense, but that's what I'm getting. Thanks for calling. Hope she feels better.
Thank you.
Stay with us. You bet. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. Let's go back to the phones. And our next caller is Elnora. Hi, Elnora.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for taking
How are
you?
You're welcome. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Georgia. I'm in Atlanta.
Terrific. In Atlanta? Are you in one of the suburbs?
Yes, I am. I'm actually in Sandy Springs.
I know where that is. Yeah, you're not too far from me. Just a couple hours east.
Yep. Right next door.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, thanks for calling in tonight. You got a question for me?
I do. My question is physical related. And I started seeing a chiropractor approximately a year and a half ago because of a lower back issue. But then I somewhat tapered off last year because I felt like I was actually doing more harm than good, and I was feeling pretty good on a consistent basis. But probably about a month ago, after a long trip, I noticed pain in my mid-back region for just like a day, maybe not even a day, like a few hours, and then there was stiffness, and it went away. Now it kind of comes and goes, more so with stiffness, but then also I have also kind of occasional stiffness in my upper back, that sometimes you can get if you sleep wrong at night. So I'm just kind of checking on what's going on with my back, and I have a feeling I probably am going to have to go back to a chiropractor, but again, I'm kind of hesitant.
Right.
You never know if you're going to get the right one or not.
Well, yeah. The one that you went to, did you get that doctor's name from somebody that has gone to them for a while and really liked them, or did you just let your fingers do the walking? It used to be the yellow pages, but now.
Yeah, I just let my fingers do the walking.
So ask around and ask your friends and family and see if anybody goes to a chiropractor that they really like. I've been to mine for over 20 years. I went to her wedding and all of that. She's become a dear friend. But I went ahead and got you on my radar, Elnor, while you were talking, and you're a twisted sister. Your pelvis is a little twisted that a chiropractor can fix in no time. So I watched a chiropractic adjustment happen, and your right hip was a little in front of your left hip. So I balanced that out. And when that happened, then your whole spine, all your vertebrae then just lined up. Like if you ran a mallet across a xylophone, it just goes all the way up. So, that was what was going on there. Everything else looks okay. I just think you need an adjustment. And that's pretty easy. Wow. As you know, you go in there and it takes about 5 minutes start to finish, and you get out of there and you feel a lot better. The other thing that I can recommend is, have you ever tried yoga?
Off and on, not consistent.
Get one of those tapes and do it at home, or you can go online. I mean, I think probably Netflix and YouTube. I'm sure there's lots on YouTube. And start doing that. Do it a couple of times a week. You're going to be amazed. I try and do it 2 to 3 times a week in addition to walking, or if it's raining, I'll get on a bike. We have a home gym and I'll get on a bike with that. And oh my gosh, if you can do that, it's going to make such a difference for you.
Wonderful.
And just stretching it out. But yeah, I don't see anything dramatic going on. I think you just need a good adjustment from a chiropractor that is gonna help you feel better.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good news.
Okay. Well, you got a chiropractic adjustment energetically, so go find one in the area. I'm sure there's plenty of them around you.
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'll start asking around to find someone that's really good and reliable.
Okay, terrific. Thanks so much for calling.
Hey, thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. All righty, let's go to Pamela next. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, Julie. Hi.
How are ya?
I'm good. I'm Pamela from Millington, Michigan, another Michigan girl.
Gosh, what is this? This is like Go Blue night tonight. I guess there might be some Spartan fans on there too, and that's okay too. We love Michigan. Although I saw a Sports Illustrated special one time before the Ohio State-Michigan game. Pamela, it was so funny. There was some idiot Ohio State fan that said, the whole state of Michigan smells like hot dog water. And I thought, what the heck does that mean?
I know what it means.
What is that? Like paper plants or something? What's that?
No, it's a Kogel hot dog boiled in water.
Oh, is that right? Is that some fancy hot dog that like everybody from Michigan eats?
There isn't any hot dog better than a Kogel.
Oh, how funny. All right. Well, that makes me feel better because I always thought this guy was just a nutcase talking about the whole place smelled like hot dog water. I thought that was just hilarious. Well, good. Thank you for informing me about that and everybody listening. Well, thanks for calling. Do you have a question for me?
I do. I had my knee replaced, my right knee replaced about 9 weeks ago. I was hoping it would have been better off by now. I still have a lot of pain under the kneecap and a sciatic nerve that started 1 week after surgery, and it has not let up.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let me get you on my radar and we'll see what's going on. That nerve thing is because of how they had you positioned on the OR table. And I've been in a bazillion of those surgeries over the years, Pamela, because I invented orthopedic surgery devices. And one of my inventions that's still sold 30 years later is for total joint surgery. It collects a patient's blood and puts their own blood back in them so they don't have to use pre-deposited blood or bank blood. So what I'm doing is I'm getting you on my radar and let's see what's going on underneath that kneecap. The sciatica, we'll fix that. That's easy to fix. I do that all the time. And by the way, when I say I and we, it's spirit working through me and with me. It's not me doing it. I'm just the facilitator. So I'm involved, but it's spirit working through me. It's just easier. It's easier instead of me just saying, well, spirit and I are doing this. It's just, the abbreviated version. Okay, so I'm underneath the kneecap. So I'm adjusting it just a little bit. I'm going to hold you over. We're going to take a quick break. And Pamela, during the break, I'm going to work on your knee and then I'll explain to you what I did when we come back.
Thanks.
So we'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking with Pamela from Michigan about her knee that she just had replaced. And what I did, Pamela, was I worked on your kneecap first. And you know how when your body part is swollen, it can kind of push something up out of the way a little bit, like if you have, I don't know, something, and then it freezes underneath it and it kind of gets it out of whack. That's what I was seeing with the kneecap. So I worked on getting the kneecap underneath there, that swelling to go down, and the kneecap went back in place. And then I watched some stem cell energy get on either side of it just to kind of anchor it, to put it in place. I think that's going to be fine once your leg, the swelling really goes down as you continue to heal. Now, on the sciatica, imagine that nerve looks like a tube, like a piece of aquarium tubing. And you know how aquarium tubing sometimes get gunk in it. It'll get uneaten fish flakes and fish poop and stuff like that. Well, that's what it looks like in the inside of this tube. That's your sciatica nerve going down the back of your right leg. And it has gunk in it. That's a medical term I made up. It's gunk. And the gunk is from just dead cells and things like that, from it being injured, from how they had to have you positioned to do your knee during the surgery. Okay. So imagine there's a corkscrew and it tunnels through the inside of that tube, kind of like an auger that you'd use in the garden if you were planting bulbs, to make a hole to do that, or like a corkscrew you would use to open a bottle of wine. So that just roto-rooted. It roto-rooted out the inside of your nerve. Imagine it looks like a tube. And then it was irrigated. And it's so funny. It cracks me up every time I see this when it's irrigated, because imagine your foot is a sprinkler and the water comes flying out the end of your toes. That's what I see happen. So it irrigated all of that debris out. And then I filled it with stem cell energy to regenerate the inside of that nerve. And there's a vortex that forms above your knee. And as it's regenerating, I watch it go from black to turn pink. And it starts at the top. And it's kind of like, if you see a movie that's black and white and then it becomes colorized, like in The Wizard of Oz, how it's black and white till Dorothy gets to Munchkin Land and then it turns colored. It's colorized then. That's what it reminds me of. So I believe that's going to heal. This will help a lot, I believe, help you heal better with that. Are you going to get your other knee done too, or did you just need the one?
I did that 10 years ago, and it wasn't as bad as this one. This one is taking a lot longer to heal up, and I was getting worried if there was scar tissue or something. I haven't been able to sleep in 9 weeks, you know.
And what's the surgeon say when you go back?
Oh, he said everything's fine. You'll be fine. He said that to me 4 times now. I'm going, okay. I don't feel fine. So help me out.
Oh, and you're doing physical therapy?
I did. I got injured. That's why I was also worried. In physical therapy, she was trying to get rid of my sciatic nerve, and she had my leg go across my body, and something snapped behind my kneecap.
Oh,
and I was in more pain than when I had the surgery. So that's what I was really worried that's maybe why that got shifted.
Yeah, it was shifted. All right. It was shifted. It was a little off center and it looked like it was raised. So I think when you got injured in physical therapy, that swelling is probably what made the kneecap shift a little. So it's back in alignment energetically. If it's still going on, I would go back in and tell them you want a scan of it and have them look at it and see what's going on. Did you tell the surgeon what happened in physical therapy?
Yep. And he took a picture of it. He said, it's fine. You'll be fine. You know, I'll see you in 2 months. And I'm going like, oh gosh. Okay. So I don't know what to do because the surgeon wasn't listening and the physical therapist wasn't listening. And I thought, I'm going to talk to Julie.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this healing will help relieve the pain and it'll get the swelling down. And you may want to get a second opinion if it goes on.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you feel better.
I do already.
Calling.
Thanks.
Okay, good. All righty. Bye-bye. I've got my next caller is from Oak Forest, Illinois, and 708 area code. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, this might be, it's actually not Oak Forest. It's Oak Park, Illinois, but it is 708. My name is Mary.
Hi, Mary. My dashboard's lying to me.
I had the pleasure of meeting you in Birmingham, Alabama this past summer with my sister-in-law at a friend of hers house. My brother just passed away.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. So nice to hear from you. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, good. It's just my son had passed away earlier this week. We just celebrate the year of his passing. He died in a car accident. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Okay. It hit me harder than I thought.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Have you been able to feel him around you? I think we talked to him that night, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
At Cindy's house?
We did.
Yeah, that's what I'm remembering. That was fun.
Yeah, and
that we got to get together.
It was very unexpected and it was appreciated.
Good.
No, I feel like he's with us all the time.
Right. Well, good. Well, did you have a question for me?
Well, I would just, I did said it was just the anniversary of his passing and then his, on the 19th, and then his birthday was the 25th.
No.
And we had so many calls and people are just missing him so much.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
I just want to know if we're doing him. We're just worried about the children and trying to take care of them and and his wife and that. Everybody's kind of worried about that situation. I just hope, we're doing the right things. We're just trying to keep in touch as much as we can. He was going through a divorce at the time of his car accident. So he was separated from his wife, but was living in the same house. So it's just been kind of emotional, and she's been dealing with a lot, and she's kind of overwhelmed by grief, and she also has a lot of guilt. I'm just trying to help her through that.
Well, I think how wonderful that you've stayed close with her and the kids too. Remind me of your son's name, Mary.
His name was Chuck.
Chuck. Okay. I remembered that he had kids. I did remember that part.
Right.
So he appreciates you staying in touch with them. Do the kids come over to your house, or where do you see them? At their house?
It kind of both ways,
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been staying, sometimes I go over there, and then they've been able to come over to our house and have overnights, and they always seem very happy to do that. They just seem to be want to be very close to us, and very, just really enjoy it when I come and see them.
Well, you're their stabilizing factor. And what Chuck was saying when I asked you, do they come to your house or whatever, he would like for you to have them at your house, because it's nurturing to them. It's comforting to them. It's fun for them. He's saying you make it fun for them. You come up with some kind of an adventure every time they come over. He said you get creative with some of the things that you do for them, and just being their grandmother. You're just such a big comfort for them. And even if their mom is doing a good job with what she's saying, they're still picking up on her vibe. Kids know they're going to match the vibe of what's going on. Did you have any questions for Chuck? Well, we've got him there. He's standing to your right.
I have been in, like I said, he was involved. He died in a car accident. He was not driving. And I have been in touch with the girl who was driving the car. And of course she's been charged with a felony. And there's a court case pending. My heart goes out to her, because she really cared for him a lot. And that I and of course I'm kind of conflicted. I mean, I want to help her, through this. I just know that she's just hurting so much. And, I just wish I could help her. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I hope he thinks it's okay that I'm in touch with her.
Oh, absolutely. He's appreciative of that. He's saying, though, that you're so giving that sometimes you're way more giving to others and you don't take care of yourself. So he's saying for you to support her, but not at the expense of yourself. Don't go overboard. Don't. Does that make sense to you? When he's saying don't go overboard.
People are worried about that. My family is.
How so?
But, I just felt she was so hurting so much. It just really, I don't feel like it was her fault. The accident was her fault at all.
Is she in jail, or is
she? Tragedy.
Is she out? Is she out on bail, or is she in jail, or what are they?
No, she's been out, but she hasn't been able to work for the past year. And now, of course, with everything with COVID, it looks like she won't be able to be arraigned in court, or her court case won't come up for at least another year. So.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mary, thanks for calling in, and my heart goes out to you. I'm sending you a big hug, and stay with us, everybody. We'll get some more callers on when we come back. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back, everybody. Our next caller is Marion. Hi, Marion.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, Marion. I'm good. We've got a kind of a rocky connection here. Are we on speaker? Can you get us off speaker?
No, I'm on my earpiece. Does it not sound good? If not, I can turn it off.
Yeah, it's bad. If you can turn it off, that would be great. Just hold the phone right now. Okay, thanks. Yeah, it sounded
okay,
like
is that better?
an old-fashioned. Oh yeah, it sounded like an old-fashioned computer working. Oh my gosh. Like the early computers where when it would print, it would go. That's what it sounded like.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
well, thanks
like I can hear it great, but the speaker's not working. Oh, no.
Yeah. Thanks for your patience. How are you?
Oh, sure. You bet. I'm doing fine. I think you know where I'm at. I'm in Yucca Valley, California. So the Balboa girl, I was like, I used to live in San Diego, so I'm very familiar with Balboa. But anyway, I was curious about a past life. I had a very, very close friend of mine die of cancer in 13. She was the same age as me. Well, 9 months older. We always laugh. I know what my parents were doing when you were born. And we went to school in high school together, and I still think about her often, and and I love her, and I still keep in contact with her kids and everything, her husband since they remarried. But I always felt like there was some sort of past life thing going on with whatever we did many, many years beyond, and I often wondered what that was, and I didn't know if there's any way you could find out.
Sure. What was her name? What's her name?
Shauna.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself in my hall for my past life hallway. And it's a never ending hallway, Marion, and it has narrow walls, very tall ceilings, and it has 12-inch by 12-inch square mirrors that line the walls, and they're perfectly aligned vertically and horizontally. So does that mean I was potty trained too early? That's how I see it. I don't know, but I like synchronicity. And so, all right. So I'm sure you've had many past lives, but are there any past lives that Marion and her friend Shauna lived in? Okay, there's a bunch of them. The mirrors come out from the wall as if they're on a hydraulic arm, Marion, and the ones that pertain to that question come out. So show me the one that comes out the furthest. Okay, it's way the heck down on the left side. All right, it's coming out the furthest. I'm going down. 1917. All right, where was it? Marseille, France. Okay.
Wow.
What did you guys do? Oh, you lived on a dairy farm and you were married. You were the man and she was the wife. You guys were married.
Oh my
in a past life in a dairy farm. Yeah. Yeah. Did you both like milk? No, I'm kidding. Or cheese?
No. I like cheese. I'm not a big milk fan.
Oh, how funny. Yeah. Yeah. So many past lives. Yeah. Yeah, you were married.
Oh my
and that's
God.
the thing is that everybody in our life is a soulmate. Even the checkout clerk at Ralph's, the grocery store that you see every time you go in, they're just all soulmates. And literature and the movies have led us to believe that soulmates are you have one soulmate in your life, and it's just the person that you're going to be in love with. Well, yeah, it don't work like that. That was created by movies and books, to sell tickets and books. But yeah. So there you go.
Wow, that's good.
Is
she by me quite often? Because I think of her often.
Yeah. Whenever you think of her, she's letting you know she's there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks for calling in. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get another person on here real fast in the time we have left.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for calling. Take care, Marion. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All righty. I'm going to Iris. Hi, Iris. Hi,
how are you?
Good. Thanks for waiting. Yeah, we've just got a couple minutes left. So tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Yes. Terrific. You got a quick question for me?
DC.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just calling on my mom. She's been sick and she has Alzheimer's, and I just wanted to see, hopefully, I wanted to see if her spirit's all in her body.
She's in phase 3 of 12, Iris. Of the 12 phases of transition. So everybody that's listening, if you don't know what we're talking about, as we are approaching death, we are surrounded by angels and deceased loved ones. And as I mentioned earlier with an earlier caller about the dog, the St. Bernard, whose spirit was out of its body in a bubble configuration, that's what it looks like. And if you go to my website, Iris, at AskJulieRyan.com, there are graphics on there of the 12 phases of transition. So you can see that. And then, of course, I talk about them in my book, Angelic Attendants. But she's in phase 3. So let's ask her, are you ready to go? She's saying yes. Are you in pain? Not really. What do you need? Chocolate. Does she like chocolate?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes chocolate.
Yeah,
I hear that. I hear that a lot. And I think it's because they can taste the sweet. You know, when the taste buds start to get worn out, they can taste the sweet things. I hear about candy a lot. Chocolate is not that uncommon, especially with Alzheimer's patients. So there's something about the chocolate that, and you know how when women have PMS and they crave chocolate, there's got to be some kind of flavonoid or something in the chocolate that makes their brains feel better. So I don't know what it is.
I gave her some cookies with chocolate this evening.
Yeah.
All right.
She wants chocolate. I know. So you've read Angelic Attendants?
I've listened to it on Audible.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. So you know what to expect. The other thing is the book Death is But a Dream. Did you hear my interview with Dr. Chris Kerr? It was a few weeks ago. It was New Year's Eve. I believe it. I want to say episode 239 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
239.
And go to YouTube on my Ask Julie Ryan channel, Iris, and there I interviewed him. So there's a video of it. And he did university-based research on 1,400 patients who at the end of life talked about seeing their deceased loved ones and deceased pet spirits in dreams and visions. So it corroborates everything I talk about in Angelic Attendants. I teased him on the interview. I said, I love it when science matches woo-woo. Science catches up with woo-woo. So, well, good luck with your mom.
She's starting to look around, and I'm like, who do you see?
Yeah. Well, good luck with your mom. Thanks for calling. Everybody, thanks for listening. I hope you have a great weekend and a good week, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Send this to your friends and family. Bye, everybody.
Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan, and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.